Hello, I'm Luke Zukowski, and I'm going to talk about how baseball affected World War II. How World War II started. The Germans invaded Poland in September of 1939, and this was the beginning of World War II. The attack on Pearl Harbor. On December 7, 1941, the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service struck the United States naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. This attack forced the United States into World War II. The importance of sports during wartime. Once America entered the war, professional sports came under scrutiny. The nation's attention was directed at the war, and questions surfaced regarding the importance of the sport and leisure activities in wartime. Baseball, the nation's national pastime, particularly came under attack. The Major League Baseball commissioner wrote a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt asking whether the 16 major league and 320 minor league teams should continue to play baseball during the war. Roosevelt wrote that the game should go on. The quote on the slide was part of what was called the Green Light Letter. How does baseball aid war effort? Baseball provided products to aid in war effort. Major League Baseball pitched in to promote sales of war bonds. These bonds were bought by over 84 million Americans. The purchase of the bonds were largely linked to patriotism. The baseball games were just one venue where these bonds could be sold. The baseball leagues also gave monetary contributions to the war charities, and they boosted morale for both people in the United States and in the armed forces. Servicemen held baseball news in high regard. Baseball news continued to arrive overseas. Sports news did not only reach the soldiers through newspapers. In October of 1942, U.S. soldiers tuned in to listen to the World Series on the radio. Fred Corcoran, who worked for the Red Cross Recreation Division, stated, "Not only did sports emerge as the favorite topic of the conversations, but baseball led conversations. They are all still arguing about what caused the 1942 collapse of Brooklyn Dodgers. They want the major league races to continue so they can root for their favorite teams thousands of miles away." The ability to escape into sports news allowed soldiers to break from the stress and provided a morale booster. Soldiers benefited from this boost and morale booster. Baseball rosters. Approximately 500 Major League Baseball players and thousands of minor league players traded in their team uniforms for the service uniforms in World War II. Some of the Major League players were stars like Ted Williams, Stan Musial, Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, Pee Wee Reese, and Hank Greenberg. The baseball rosters got hit hard with the war due to enlisting of drafting players. The major league teams were made up of men from a variety of ages. The minor leagues were hit even harder. Minor league teams scrambled to find enough men to fill their rosters from week to week. The lack of available men led to some ideas outside the traditional pool, either to fill their rosters or create whole new leagues. American Girls Professional Baseball League. One of the whole new leagues was the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. Philip Wrigley created this league because he was concerned about the major and minor leagues would close down due to so many players serving the country. Hundreds of women attended tryouts from across the country. This was an opportunity for women to play professional baseball. At first, the game was played more like softball, but gradually it became more like a baseball game. Those games created opportunity for people to take their minds off the wartime struggles. Women were not the only group kept out of organized baseball. African Americans were too. However, the African Americans began forming their own teams. These teams developed into the Negro Leagues. The Negro League struggled in the 1930s. When World War II started, the Negro League saw more popularity. The 12 teams of the National and American Negro Leagues dominated baseball between 1940 and 1944. Baseball did play an important role in fighting for America during World War II. Not only did it raise thousands of dollars to help with war efforts, but it also helped keeping our people united. Baseball improved morale of the Americans both still in the country and those fighting overseas. The war also had an effect on baseball. With so many men enlisting and getting drafted, it opened up opportunities for women and African Americans in organized sports. It was the steps towards breaking down barriers in not only baseball, but racial and gender barriers throughout the country. I truly believe that baseball helped America remain strong and stable through a very difficult time in our history.